Okay, guys, I think I'm live. Of course, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here, so I really can't be very loud. But it's 7 o'clock back home. I want to say, are you serious? Welcome to the coming apocalypse. Let's give everybody a chance. And I'm doing two things. I want to test the bandwidth. I'm using a hotspot off a phone to see if that will be stronger. And really hope it's going to be stronger and not have any buffering. So let me give it a couple seconds here. Good to see everybody piling in. And let me know if it's streaming really well on YouTube here. I'm only going to do YouTube. Calm down and get some coffee while I got some water. A little late for coffee here. Just middle of the night. But it's great to see everybody coming in on Sunday Night Live. Great to see you. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I don't want to get very loud and wake the neighbors in the rooms next to me. But we do have some breaking news coming in here, so streaming looking good, thank you. So we do have a situation. You can barely hear me. I could put this microphone in there and maybe that would be better. I'm going to try it and you guys tell me if it's... you guys tell me, it sounds great? Does it sound okay? Loud and clear? Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for being helpful. Thank you guys for being so faithful. Hey guys, tonight, Sunday Night Live, got a lot to pray about. And the first thing is North Korea has just fired a ballistic missile and it has landed right on the coast of Japan. It did not hit the coast, but it landed in the waters, in the economic zone, the shipping zone. It landed where boats go in and out of the harbor. It landed in the harbor. Now, the first initial reports are that it did not hit a ship. They're still waiting to find out if any damage may have happened to a ship or to the harbor or to the coast of Japan. They don't think so. This means that Kim Jong-un, you're right, Denise, it's not even on the news. I know it. I just got the information you're going to be seeing on the news very shortly. It just happened just as I was turning on the computer to go live. And so I changed the title of the show that breaking news, North Korea has just fired a ballistic missile that landed on Japan's coastal waters. This guy, you're right. Bloody Mary, you're right. He wants a war. And you know he's on the verge of getting one. And I'm telling you, North Korea, you got to understand, the President of the United States, I guarantee you, they just woke him up not long ago and said, Mr. President, North Korea has done it again, but this time it was a ballistic missile. It wasn't just a missile they tested and dropped it in the water somewhere. This thing was a ballistic missile that landed in the harbor in the coastal waters of Japan. Could have hit a ship if one just happened to be there. It shows you, though, that North Korea has a capability of putting these wherever they want to. They have the sophisticated capability. They are increasing in their capabilities. He is frequently testing these things. He is testing Donald Trump. He's putting Donald Trump on notice. And some would say, well, why doesn't Trump respond? He can't. Either he can't, because if he does, he can't. The North Korea has the ability to fire off enough short-range missiles or ballistic nukes that we couldn't knock them all down, and something would get through, maybe right into North Korea. Maybe right into Seoul, South Korea. Maybe it would land on Guam. And so I've got the television on over here in the corner, and I'm going to keep a close watch. You guys keep a close eye on what's going on. I think what you're going to see is Trump may have to do a preemptive strike and try to cripple North Korea before this guy hits somebody, because I think this guy's about ready to hit somebody. I think if he doesn't get noticed quickly, if he doesn't get some kind of action quickly, I think North Korea's Kim Jong-un is going to strike, and it must be going to be Japan, although he did fire a missile about a week or 10 days ago, a huge new long-range missile that he dropped off the coast, 60 miles off the coast of Russia. So he's got the capabilities. He's got the fortitude. He's lost his mind. So it's Sunday Night Live. A lot to pray about tonight. I want to pray for your prayer request. It is 2:00 in the morning here in Jerusalem, so I'm only going to go about an hour, and I'm praying that we're using our phone, our hotspot off the phone, to try to get a better connection off Heidi's phone. It seems like it is working, and so I'm going to do my best tonight. D. Brandt said it was just on the radio, so someone else has just now confirmed that it did happen. And so we got people joining us here tonight. I want you to know, you're right, Guam's at risk, Japan's at risk, Hawaii would be at risk, certainly South Korea is at risk. It's just unbelievable, the stuff that's going on. Somebody's going to turn this thing. You're right. Mad Dog Mattis is going to turn the heat up, and wow, it's dangerous time, folks. When we say that we're on the brink of Armageddon, I guess that was my Friday night show. That was the title. I wasn't trying to be prophetic. I'm just telling you, we are in dangerous, 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 dangerous times. And I want to just go out on record right now and let you know that I'm very concerned. I am concerned. I am concerned. I'm concerned about our 28,000 men and women in uniform that are at the military base in South Korea right now. I'm concerned about our men and women in uniform in Guam. I'm concerned about the civilians as well in Hawaii. I'm very concerned for the people of Japan. It's just not good what we're witnessing right now. It's very, very. Michelle, thank you. Michelle says, get some rest, Pastor. I should be. That's the truth. I'm not feeling well. I've come down with a very bad cough. Extremely. So I'm trying not to cough tonight. And my bronchial area. So just pray for me that I'll be all right here and finish this trip out today. I've got at least one interview this morning, and then I've got maybe another one in the afternoon. And so we're finishing up this trip with a couple more important meetings. So, and I wish I could tell you who the second meeting is with, but I won't till I do the meeting, okay, until I know I've done the meeting. But it's definitely a breakthrough if we're able to meet with this individual. And then I'll share that with you. But anyway, pray for Heidi and I. Pray for Heidi's hip, and pray for me. As I don't think I've, but I'm very concerned about what's going on with the. By His stripes we are healed. And I appreciate your prayers. I really do, and I'm praying for you. So tonight, pray for the people that are out there. The North Korea, Kim Jong-un, the man is insane. Apparently he has nothing to lose. Or he is so out of touch with reality. He doesn't realize how dangerous a situation he is creating here with President Donald Trump. Trump has already drawn the red line. He didn't say he used a red line, but he said, you don't want to mess with me. You don't want to mess with me. And what does he do? Kim Jong-un just fired a ballistic missile just minutes ago. It landed just off the coast of Japan in the coastal waters, in the shipping lane, in the harbor. It did not hit a ship. We don't think any damage has caused any ships or coastal area, but it just happened, and he dropped this thing. Um, uh, some folks are just now getting here. They're saying, what happened? Kim Jong-un has just fired a ballistic missile that has landed just in the coastal waters of Japan. It did not hit a ship. It could have hit a ship. It just, fortunately, it didn't. We're waiting to find out if it caused any damage to any ships or any damage it landed in the harbor, the shipping lanes, in the shipping lanes of the coast of Japan. I mean, we're talking right where the ships go into harbor. This is crazy. And I'm sure the president has been awoken, and he just got home from this 9-day trip. He's back at the White House, and they got to ask themselves, what in the world are we going to do now? What are we going to do with Kim Jong-un? Are we going to wait till he hits Japan or South Korea or Guam or Hawaii or the Philippines or Vietnam or Russia? I mean, do we all just sit back and wait until he actually hits somebody? So, wow. And Japan has got to be saying to their leaders, what are we going to do? I want to welcome all of you here tonight. Almost 1,000 people have gathered here. It's Sunday Night Live. We're only broadcasting on YouTube tonight because of bandwidth. We're using our hotspot on our phone. It is 2 a.m. in the morning here in Japan. I'll tell you how tired I am. It's 2:07 here in Jerusalem. We've had a tremendous day interviewing Rabbi Yehuda Glick earlier Sunday morning, which is a powerful. I did put 8 minutes of it on YouTube. But the interview gets better and better. He was in a great mood. He was in a jovial mood. He was in a prophetic mood. He quotes scripture. Um, there's a couple times in there he brings out some scriptural revelation that, man, I mean, sermons were starting to flow through me. I only showed you 8 minutes and 30 seconds of it, but the interview was almost 40 minutes. The rest of the footage that I have will be used in a couple television shows, and those will be coming very soon. But it was very, very fascinating morning with Rabbi Yehuda Glick. He also gave us a couple very powerful contacts, and we'll let you know more about that later, and you'll know when I interview him. And then also, we went on out to the Mount of Olives, where we did 3 short sermons out there at the Mount of Olives. I put part of one on YouTube for you, and those others will be released in television shows coming up as well. I have an interview coming up this morning at 10 o'clock. First time ever to interview this man, and it will be powerful. And we'll just see what kind of revelation he brings. And then this afternoon, coming up, and I'm talking now Monday afternoon, I may have a very, very high-level meeting with someone that, and if it happens, we'll let you know who it is, okay? So anyway, let me tell you what else is going on. For those of you who just joined us, we have over 1,000 people with us tonight. It is Sunday Night Live. If you're sitting in your Sunday night offerings tonight, please put in your prayer request that we can pray over. I can tell you, we've been hearing from people already for where we went to the wall and prayed, and how God is already answering some of these prayers miraculously. I mean, miraculously. Uh, so, these Sunday night live broadcasts are so important. And I can tell you, I'm under the weather, severe coughing. I have been coughing my head off. My lungs have filled up. Um, and I really didn't feel like getting up at 2 a.m. for this broadcast. But now that I'm up and going, I'm glad because you're here tonight and we've got much to talk about. We've got breaking news everywhere. If you have your uh, prayer request, please. Oh, and by the way, thank you for praying for my father. He was in the hospital for 3 or 4 days this week. He is out of the hospital. He got out Saturday afternoon, and so he was probably at church this morning. I don't know. The doctor was like, he may have went. If he did, he was supposed to just sit and not do anything because he's just real weak, very weak. But he did get out of the hospital, so thank you guys for praying. Um, and so we just praise God for that. Now, so looking right now for Love and Obey. I'm in the chat room over here at YouTube. There's Michael Chip. He preached. He's a wild man, and I'm sure the doctors weren't happy with that. Thank you, Mike Childers. Good to see you there. Yeah, Dad was very sick all week. Very sick in the hospital for 4 days, and they let him out Saturday afternoon. Looking for Love and Obey. If you pop up in the chat room, let me know. Okay. But anyway, let me tell you what else is going on. Kim Jong-un has fired a ballistic missile. Minutes ago, it landed off the coast of Japan in the Japanese waters in the shipping lane. And just incredible. Um, just incredible that he would do this again. But he has. Just unbelievable what God is doing. We've got to stop Kim Jong Un. He's going to hurt somebody. He's going to. If I don't know how you do it. Do you do a preemptive strike? I might have something coming up. I'm keeping a close eye right now. I've got it on television over here on the left, and I'm going to keep a close eye if we get an update. But this happened just minutes ago, just as I was turning on the broadcast tonight. Changed the title of the program because it happened to North Korea just fired a ballistic missile landed on Japan coastal waters. It landed in the shipping lane, in the harbor. First reports are it did not hit a ship, but we're waiting to see if it caused any damage in the harbor to any ships or to the harbor itself. This is where it landed. Unbelievable. Folks are telling me they haven't even seen it on television. They're in America yet. It just happened, and minutes ago. And I mean, just as I was getting ready to turn this thing on. So we need to pray because I tell you, this is putting Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, it's putting him in a very precarious situation. He needs our prayers. And so maybe tonight, as you're sending in your Sunday night live offering tonight, if God lays on your heart to pray for President Trump as one of your requests, please do that. Please do that because I know the man's tired. He had a tremendous trip. He comes home to the swamp. There's a bunch of alligators waiting on him when he gets back over the Jared Kushner situation, which is no big deal, but they're going to make it a big deal. And before he could barely lay his head on his pillow tonight at the White House, Kim Jong-un takes the moment to fire a ballistic missile that lands in the coastal waters of the coast of Japan, in the shipping lanes, in the harbor. That's insanity. And so we really need to pray. It's just unbelievable. It would not shock me while we're on the air if we hear about a retaliative strike by Japan or the United States or South Korea. I'm serious. I'm hoping not, but I don't know what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So please, please pray. Pray one for another. Pray for your families. I want to welcome all 1,145 of you. We're on YouTube only. Thank God the bandwidth is working. We're using Heidi's telephone, using our hotspot off the phone. Thank you, Kathleen, for letting me know you can hear me fine. This is crazy. What Kim Jong-un is doing is crazy. Now, that's not the only problem we got tonight. There was a major crash, I guess, at the Indy 500, where just an unbelievable crash in the race. And of course, we're from Indianapolis, so it's kind of a hometown kind of thing. I live about an hour north of the racetrack. But both drivers walked away from an incredible accident at the Indy 500, and so we just thank God for that. Okay, so I can report that as some good news. But in Sri Lanka, this mudslide in Sri Lanka, the death toll now reaches 150, and 110 are missing in this horrific mudslide in Sri Lanka. The monsoon rains pouring down have caused a horrific situation of biblical proportion. Folks, are you serious? A horrible situation in Sri Lanka. And they got the bulldozers out and they're digging, and it's feet of mud and land and dirt, and bodies are being systematically pulled out of the mud and been buried alive in a horrible, horrible scene. Plus, the flooding is so devastating, and it's the worst apocalyptic. They said, these are the words, it's apocalyptic flooding. 27,000 people have been displaced by the mudslide, and tens of thousands by the floodwaters. There is international aid is being sent in there from all over the world, including the United States, as it is a very sad situation in Sri Lanka. I want to welcome all 1,239 of you that are live with us tonight on YouTube. We're only on YouTube tonight, and we're thank God that we have enough of a bandwidth tonight. We're working off the hotspot on our phone. You never know how long it is, so I just want you to know, if we were to lose it, please forgive me. I'm doing the very best I can. I will be home very shortly. All right. Let me tell you what else is taking place. Egypt has launched an attack. Egypt has just launched an attack today on Libya, on the militants at the training camps of these militant ISIS training camps that are in Libya. And Egypt has just launched an attack. This is in response to President Trump holding that 54 nation conference there in Saudi Arabia, in which Trump told the nations that were there, drive these radical extremist terrorists out of your nation, drive them out of your country, drive them out of your mosque, drive them out of the world. And he had Egypt's president al-Sisi sitting on his left hand, and Saudi Arabian's king Salman sitting on his right hand, and he had the king of Jordan sitting next to him, and he had all of 54 Arab nations, Muslim nations, in agreement that they're going to go after the terrorists. And he called out Iran and made them the villain of all. He called out Hamas that are in Gaza. He called out Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. He called out the Houthi rebels that are in Yemen who have been attacking Saudi Arabia. And so we know what's happened. A bunch of Christians on their way to a monastery out in the desert sands of Egypt were attacked by 10 ISIS gunmen who just shot indiscriminately on this bus load of Christians, Coptic Christians out of Egypt, in Egypt, killing 29, wounding 25 in a horrible scene out in the desert. And on Palm Sunday, we know that two different Coptic Christian churches were attacked as suicide bombers blew themselves up, killing 45 Coptic Christian worshipers and injuring uh, 50 or 60 others. And so President Al Sisi has responded. He has launched a military air raids, blowing up these training camps in Libya and striking into the heart of radical Islam. So this is huge. This is huge news because who are they? Listen, folks, who is LCC retaliating against? ISIS. What did ISIS do? Kill Christians. So if Egypt's president decides he's going to kill these people, he's going to bomb these people who did not kill Muslims, but who killed Christians, then he has embraced President Donald Trump in fighting the war on radical Islam and these radical extreme terrorists who are killing Christians. This is the first huge, but we wouldn't have got this out of Barack Obama. Matter of fact, you know what Barack Obama did? He said that El Sisi needed to release Mohammed Mursi. He said that El Sisi needed to be arrested. He wouldn't even speak to El Sisi. He threatened to cut off Egypt's aid. He cut off some of their aid and wouldn't even speak to the man. And he demanded that El Sisi release Mohammed Mursi. So you had an absolute president, Barack Obama. I am tired of hearing about these phone calls. I'm tired of hearing about these back channels. Everybody has back channels. Matter of fact, H.R. McMaster just said this morning that we have tons of back channels with every country in the world. This is no big deal. Jared Kushner, they're going after Trump. They're going after his family. They're going after his son-in-law. Everything that they're doing is no different than what every nation in the world does. It is absolute ludicrous. The media in America, the mainstream, fake news media. Can I ask you guys a question? I'll tell you how fake they are. I'll tell you how bad they are. I'm telling you about North Korea firing a ballistic missile that lands in the coastal waters of Japan. Has the media told you about it yet? Does anybody got anything? Is there breaking news? Is CNN? Is Wolf Blitzer? Is MSNBC awake yet? No, they're going to get up in the morning. They already have their producers sitting already got producers sitting at their headquarters, typing up what they want their little talking heads to read about Trump, James Comey, Kushner, Trump. Where are they? Nothing. It's on CNN now. Okay, Saul man, thank you. Thank you, Saul man. CNN just posted it. Thank you, M King. What about MSNBC? Are they awake yet, or are they still showing reruns of some prison somewhere? Now RT is broadcasting it. Thank you. Fox just said it. Okay, thank you. All right, so you see, I beat the national media by at least 25 minutes. And I'm sitting here in a hotel room in Jerusalem in the middle of the night. It's insanity. I shouldn't know this stuff. Okay? And if I can know that, then how in the world? And how many times have I beaten the mainstream media? But it's because I got this amazing online church. You guys feed me information all the time. You guys are awesome. And that's how come we have to stay out on top of it. We got to stay out ahead of it. 1,300 of you have gathered here tonight. God bless every one of you. We love you. And we're excited about what God's doing here tonight. Like I said, if you haven't seen the interview with Yehuda Glick, I only posted 8 minutes of it. It's a 37-minute interview. The rest of it, which is even better than the first part, will be aired on 2 or 3 upcoming television shows. Also, I've had interviews 2 days in a row. I was actually in the desert filming the Balm of Gilead farms with Guy Ehrlich, who's been commissioned by the Temple Institute, by Rabbi Yehuda Glick, by the Sanhedrin court and by the government of Israel to produce the anointing oil for the dedication of the third temple. And we were privileged to be able to spend a whole day out there in the desert, where I think is what all that dust and stuff. I think that's why I got this cough again. And then we had him come into our hotel room the next day. We set him down right in here and interviewed him for another hour. And also we got some other footage provided to us, and we got all kinds of information. And I even have another interview coming up uh, very soon. So this documentary that's coming out on the essence of the oils is going to be, I think, one of our proudest moments of anything we've ever done to bring some great information for you, and that'll be coming up. So this has been a tremendous trip so far, and more information coming soon, more interviews coming. That's going to be just spectacular. What's happening is God is revealing. We're in the last days. The biblical prophecies are taking place right before our eyes. We need you to pray, though, tonight. Many of you are, as you're sending in your Sunday night offerings tonight, please, whatever your prayer requests are, put them on there tonight. Put them on there tonight, because I'm heavy-hearted. I'm really, in my heart, I'm going to pray. My spirit is broken. I'm very concerned. We're on the brink of Armageddon, not the Armageddon of the Bible, but this latter-day Armageddon, maybe potentially uh, a Pacific Coast war. Kim Jong-un just won't stop. He fired another ballistic missile tonight, just minutes ago. It landed just off the coast of Japan, in the coastal waters, in the harbor. It did not hit a ship, but we don't know if it did any damage to any ships or any damage to the harbor. It landed in the shipping lanes. Are you serious? What is this guy doing? And I'm sure the President of the United States has been awoken at the White House. Folks, we're on the edge of nuclear war, and I don't think I can say that. I'm not saying that just as just to blow smoke here. I'm telling you, you can't drop ballistic missiles off the coast of sovereign nations and 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 not expect a retaliation. Something's going to happen. It just can't happen. Either that, or President Trump may have to do a preemptive strike to try to cripple North Korea, to knock out every one of their installations, and that's dangerous. And I don't think we can. I think if we did, I think we could do it. But I think they would get off a couple nukes. They'd probably get them off. They got these mobile ones now that they can, and with fast fueling, that they could get a small one off and get it into Seoul, South Korea. I mean, this is how dangerous it's becoming, and we really need to pray one for another here tonight. Um, um, Sawman just said a Scud type Japan gives protest and will respond. Concrete South Korea. I'm sorry, there's so many people in the chat room tonight. There's going to be a response. I would think Japan's going to respond, or the United States, or both. So we'll keep a close eye on this thing. Meanwhile, as we were saying, Libya, Egypt has launched an airstrike into Libya, destroying several training camps for ISIS. This is in response to ISIS killing a bunch of Christians on a bus headed to a monastery, killing 29 Coptic Christians, and also killing and wounding 25. So on that bus attack, 10 gunmen, ambushed this bus, killed 29 Christians, wounded 25 others. Also, we know back on Palm Sunday, 2 Coptic Christian churches had suicide bombers that killed another 45 Christians and wounded another 50 or 60. Also, I want you to know that Iraq, this afternoon, Iraq has just launched their forces on ISIS. They're on the last enclave, the last holdout that ISIS has in Mosul. Iraq has just launched hellfire on ISIS up in the city of Mosul. This was happening the same time Egypt was launching an attack on ISIS in Libya. So it's very evident to me that Donald Trump, speaking to those Arabic nations, telling them, drive them out of your country, drive them out of your mosque, drive them out of the world, that these Arabic nations are responding as if they've been empowered. They don't have to worry about getting smacked by Barack Obama. And I want to welcome all 1,358 of you that are with us live. We're on the brink of war. We're on the edge of eternity. We're at the brink of the beast. This is the apocalyptic hour. Something biblical is definitely going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And as we're reporting, Egypt has launched an air raid, attacks, blowing up the training camps of ISIS in Libya. And this is in response, this is retaliation because of the slaughter of those innocent Christians in that bus in Egypt this weekend, and for those 2 attacks on those Christian churches on Palm Sunday. Egypt has been empowered. Egypt's President el-Sisi came to Washington. He was welcomed with the red carpet. This isn't Barack Obama sitting in the White House no more. There's a new sheriff in town. He is sick and tired of Christians getting their heads chopped off. He told us that when he ran for president, and he told the Muslim nations, you need to drive these guys out of your countries, out of your mosque, out of your world. And then he said, and let me tell you who some of the bad guys are besides ISIS. It's Iran. It's the Hamas in Gaza. It's the Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. It's the Houthi rebels in Yemen who keep attacking Saudi Arabia. It's everyone that's trying to annihilate Israel. I mean, this has got to come to an end. And now we got Kim Jong-un. And Kim Jong-un, or Kim Jong-un, or Kim Jong-doon, or Kim Jong-boom has just fired a ballistic missile about a half hour ago. It landed in the waters off the coast of Japan. It was a ballistic missile. It landed in the coastal waters of Japan, in the harbor, in the shipping lane. It didn't hit a ship. It could have. This guy's lost his mind. And will there be a response? Will there be a response by the United States or by the Japanese? I mean, what is going on here, folks? Are you serious? Are you serious, Kim Jong-un? I need 1,400 people that are with us tonight to pray. I need you to pray for this situation. And oh, by the way, let me tell you what else is going on. ISIS took over a city, Maui, in the Philippines, a city of 200,000 people. ISIS captured the city. Well, now the Philippines president has sent in attack helicopters. He has sent in the army, and they're fighting the ISIS rebels. Excuse me. They're fighting the ISIS rebels. They've already found 9 civilians executed in cold blood with their hands tied behind their backs, shot in the head, piled up on the edge of a road, blood running down the road. They have found more civilians murdered in a pile. They have found more civilians dead in a creek. And we don't know what all ISIS has done. They have been they took control of the city in the Philippines 6 days ago. 200,000 people living in terror as ISIS has captured a city in the Philippines. This is not a good situation. Also, North Korea, besides firing a missile and dropping it in the coastal waters of Japan tonight, just a few minutes ago, a little over 40 minutes ago, I can't believe the mainstream media is just now starting to report it back home in Indiana, or excuse me, back home in America. You guys were with us live We beat the mainstream media on this story by about 25 minutes. But also, North Korea has just announced earlier today they have a new anti-aircraft weapons system that if anybody tries to fire missiles into North Korea, they have a new anti-aircraft weapons system, and they're getting in a position to where they can shoot down any incoming missiles. So, folks, look, I haven't had a chance to. I just want to tell you that the Bible says in the last days there would be. Jesus was asked the question in Matthew 24. What is the sign of thy coming, the end of the world? I just preached this earlier today on the Mount of Olives. Jesus said, look, false Christ and false prophets will come, and they shall deceive many. And you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines. There'll be pestilences. There'll be earthquakes in diverse places. And all of these are the beginning of sorrows. And this is just the beginning. I said, God bless you, RoboMom. Good to see everybody over there, out there. Sheila Brickley, Sarah Snyder, Rick Thorne, Arlene, Maria, Miss ZD. The Lord's almost here. Joey, Sean, Spencer, John Pittman, just all of you guys on this Sunday Night Live broadcast. We're not on Blog Talk Radio tonight. We're not on new live stream or Roku satellite or even at our website, just at YouTube only. And so I want to say welcome all of you here tonight. Tonight we need to pray. Tonight, if you would, if you give tonight, help us tonight. I want to finish the Salvation Station. We're very close, and so we want to get it done. If you give tonight as you normally do on your Sunday Night Live, we always lift a Sunday night offering. This is the one day a week we really do. If you have a special prayer request, please put it in there tonight. If you don't have a special one, put down, I'm praying for President Trump. I'm praying for his family. I'm praying for the pressure that's on that man to make a decision on what to do with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. We have breaking news. Kim Jong-un has fired a ballistic missile. It has landed in the coastal waters of Japan, in the shipping lane, in the harbor. Now, it did not hit a ship. Could have, but it didn't. We don't know if it caused any damage to any ships or if it caused any damage to the harbor itself, but he dropped it right in there. I mean, just insanity that he's doing this stuff. It's insane. And it's just Trump needs prayers for wisdom. You're right. Trump needs prayers every morning. You're right, Jazzy. We need to pray for our nation. We need to pray for this world is getting. There's two things going on. There's a movement for peace, and there's a movement to stomp out, to crush radical terrorism and radicalness of radical Islam. But you have to deal with North Korea. You have to deal with North Korea and Iran. They are the axis of evil, and that's the truth. That's really where your evil, for the most part, dangerous, is coming out of this radicalness of the Shiite Muslims, specifically sponsored by Iran, who are funding the Houthis in Yemen, who are funding Hamas in Gaza, who are funding Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, who are sitting in Syria on the doorstep of Israel, who are calling for the annihilation of Jerusalem, right where I'm at. And that's Iran. Then there's North Korea. North Korea firing missiles, dropping them on the coastal waters of Japan tonight, just about 40 minutes ago. An insane move that could have hit a ship, could have hit the harbor, landed it in the harbor, landed it in the coastal lanes, the shipping lanes. where boats go in and out every day. This is insane. And so, folks, really seriously, pray for us. Pray for one another tonight. Uh, it's just unbelievable that, and these are just some of the things. Again, Egypt has launched a military attack, an air raid into Libya this afternoon, blowing up militant camps, ISIS training camps in Libya. And El Sisi did this in response. He was empowered by President Donald Trump. He was at the summit in Saudi Arabia, uh, sitting on the left hand of President Trump, and King Salman sitting on the right hand of the president, and the King of Jordan sitting next to him, and 54 Muslim nations all listening to the President of the United States tell them, you guys got to drive this radical, extreme Muslim militant mentality out of your mosque, out of your lives, out of your countries, and you got to deal with this. And we got your back if you'll do it. And Egypt has responded by launching a air raid on Libya tonight. Also, Iraq has launched its forces in a final enclave, the last holdout of ISIS in Mosul. They have them cornered, and Iraq is trying to go in there and finish them off and get them out of their city of Mosul, a city that they have literally controlled almost since the summer of 2014. For nearly 3 years, they blew up the prophet Jonah's tomb. They blew up Palmyra and the Archway of Baal. They blew up museums. They butchered, they raped, they beheaded, they crucified, they executed Christians, priests, nuns, innocent civilians, the Yiddies, Muslims who they felt were non-believers. They massacred, they executed, they slaughtered children. These guys are out of control. And Obama had 2 years to deal with them, and he played these little games ever so often, blowing up an empty warehouse. Trump has done the right thing. He has empowered the Muslim countries to go get them. But at the same time, he's telling the Muslim countries, don't bother Israel, leave Israel alone. Matter of fact, he's building relationships now between Saudi Arabia and Israel, between Egypt and Israel. And we're getting ready to see something happen in this part of the world that we've never seen before. A biblical prophetic move to bring some type of peaceful season. It won't be long. I know the Bible. I know the Bible prophecies, but there will be a season. And if you're a studier of biblical, he literally had to deal with this